I got to ask you quickly
Yeah.
about black media. I think we discussed this before, but now we're at the end of an election. Where do you see where black media could improve, or they're doing really great right now in this moment, especially politically?
Well, there's very little black media, right? So, when you look at, for instance, BET, that'll be called black media, but it's not black owned. We have very few national outlets that are black owned. I also think that what Roland Martin has been doing publicly, saying publicly, I should say, and that he and I have talked about privately, should be said very loudly. As black media, even with black guests, you're not respected in the same way. So when you try to book people, they'll tell you, their people will tell you they're not available, yet you will see them on white owned media that same day or the same time you were trying to get them. The only way black media is going to grow is that black people make a concerted effort to hold black media up. And while you'll get far greater numbers being on 60 Minutes, you'll get far more critical acclaim and seen by more people on CNN. If you started to do other media that is truly black owned, that media would eventually be able to grow to a point where more people would watch it. It's a money game, as you know. If you're black media, you don't make the same amount. It's the same cycle that we see with every economic corner that black people are in. It has nothing to do with my ability. It has nothing to do with my smarts. It has to do with CNN's budget is going to be 100 times bigger than black owned media's budget. And so therefore they're going to be able to do more. What happens if these folks say, I'm going to give the first exclusive, not to 60 Minutes, but to said black reporter who works in black media, not to, and this is not a slight to them, not to Gayle King or Robin Roberts or someone who works for white owned media, but they happen to be black, because that still elevates that media company. I'm going to give it to somebody who owns black media. And so that's one of the things I like about doing the Impact Network. It's black owned. I also think black media's got to do a better job, though. At some point, you've got to hold yourself accountable for a long time. And that's what I worked very hard at when I was at BET. Our standards weren't maybe what they should have been and in black media. And so I worked very hard when we did programs to make sure our facts were right, to make sure that we looked like everybody else, to make sure that you could respect me in the same way you respected another anchor on a white network. It was very intentional and very conscious on my part to make sure that we were doing that right. And a lot of times it has to do with, well, we've got to get younger people and we can't pay them the same, and we lose our great people to white establishments because they can pay more. All that's true, but standards are standards are standards, and you got to hold people to it.
Mr. Gordon, that's so true. I can recall many lifetimes ago when I used to do more celebrity media, and I would be on the red carpet, and they always had the black reporters at the very end of the carpet, and the black celebrities would walk right past us, walk right past us. It was, they would go
Well,
to.
their
I'm
white
not,
handlers would walk
They're
them
white
past.
handlers as well, but
Yeah.
we would be screaming. I'm not going to say any names, like so and so, so over here, we're so and so. Nothing. And you're right. So some of it is in the power of the celebrities who have the power. And it would just be so. We called it the colored section of the red carpet. That's where we all were, and we're just swapped around. So that's really important.